Our honorees this evening represent the best of our outstanding teaching staff. We are blessed to have you in Pershing County, but more importantly, our children are blessed to have each of you in our classrooms. The highest honor any teacher can receive is a nomination by their peers as Teacher of the Year at their school. Your peers know you the best. They see you at your best, and they see you at your worst. They understand the joys and frustrations of the career you have chosen. There can only be one Pershing County Schools Teacher of the Year, but you are all winners by having been chosen to represent your school. Please stand if you're a Teacher of the Year. Congratulations. In addition to our honorees, we are also joined by many other individuals tonight that I would like to acknowledge. Please stand when you are recognized. Dr. Rodney Peterson, Superintendent of Pershing County Schools. Board of Education members and their spouses or guests. If you're a principal of the candidates, please stand. We also are joined by members of their Central Services team. Would you please stand? Great group of folks. Do we have any past Pershing County Teachers of the Year here tonight? Yes, there's one, please. We're also joined by media representatives, Mr. Johnny Whitfield from the Courier and Mr. David Brasher from WKRX. We also have the following award winners joining us tonight. Freebird McKinney, the North Carolina Teacher of the Year. Greg Turner, the 2018-19 Teacher of the Year, Pershing County. And I understand we are joined by our brand new 2019 Beginning Teacher of Excellence, Jeff Jennings. Congratulations. And last but certainly not least are the people that support our candidates every day and pick up the slack so they can focus on their jobs. If you are the spouse or guest of one of the Teacher of the Year candidates, would you please stand so we can thank you? As you may have noticed on your program, we are again thankful that the Pierce Group has sponsored this event. So when you see the representatives in your building throughout the year, please thank them for that. Thank you all for joining us tonight as we celebrate our School Teachers of the Year and announce the new Pershing County Teacher of the Year. Thank you.
I took give you my welcome to a very special event. As has been said before this afternoon, the Beginning Teachers of the Year, this is about you and celebrating what you have done for Pershing County Schools and our children. You give your best every single day, and you give your best for the purpose of making the future brighter for our children. You are a difference maker. You are a joy maker. And the achievements of our students don't just happen by chance. It's because of you. You did a lot of important things today, not the least of which was that you smiled, you laughed, you connected to our children and to each other, to your colleagues. You deserve some pampering, and that's what this is about. It's the pampering, just for a little bit, for a little while, extraordinary things. Your students believe in you, and so do we. Thank you for being a teacher, and especially for being a teacher in Carson County. Please join me in a moment of silence to say our thanks for being a teacher. Again, we thank you. Please continue to write your story and continue to write the stories of our children. Thank you.
At this time, our lovely wait staff will come through and take your orders. You have a choice menu in front of you. Once your orders are taken, you'll proceed to the salad bar. And so we'll just sort of check it out when it's a good time to go. So I believe there's only one open tonight because it's Monday and they. So Greg is a French teacher at Person High School and is Person County Schools' current Teacher of the Year. Greg revels in the individuality of his students, and he has the ability to magnify their uniqueness as something beautiful and worthy of celebration. He believes that when we sincerely listen and understand our students and their stories, we gain their respect, and when that respect is mutually shared, genuine learning can take place. He believes that he has accomplished something as a teacher when his students recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate their own accomplishments due to their hard work and persistence. He is passionate in the classroom, and he strives to instill good work ethics, pride for a job well done, and an appreciation for the French language and its culture. He's also pretty passionate about the golf course too, from what I understand. We have been lucky to have Greg positively impact both students and teachers as he has served as the Person County Schools Teacher of the Year. We are honored to have Mr. Turner share some words with us after our guest speaker. So we look forward to that, Greg. And how fitting this banquet falls of Teacher Appreciation Week too. I didn't even think about that when we were having the date. I don't know, has it ever done that, Tracy? I don't think so. So exciting. Tonight, we are so honored to have Bree Bird McKinney with us in Person County tonight as North Carolina's 2018-19 Teacher of the Year. And before I tell you a little bit about him, if you'll join me in giving him a good old Person County Schools welcome, please. Mr. McKinney graduated from UNC Chapel Hill. That was it? Nothing? Chapel Hill? With a bachelor's degree in anthropology in 1998, and then earned a second bachelor's degree in history from UNC Greensboro in 2004. He went on to earn his master's degree in education in 2006, also from UNC Greensboro, where he is now pursuing a master's degree in history. In addition, he is an adjunct professor at Elon University, and he is cooperating teacher for their teacher education program. He has over 14 years of teaching experience and is currently a social studies teacher at Walter Williams High School in Burlington. Bree Bird believes that he was literally, figuratively, and metaphorically born to be a teacher. He says that it is his calling, his destiny, and his purpose. Since beginning teaching, his unique approach has been transformative in guiding students on their path to self-realization and self-actualization. With a true dedication to sharing and knowledge with his students, he's had the honor of educating and inspiring countless young men and women, both inside and outside of the classroom. Mr. McKinney has proudly represented the Alamance Burlington school system as he has traveled through the state and country sharing his message with others. He is married to Kelly, and they have 2 children, Dorothy Gale and Jeremiah Strong. Please join me in welcoming again Mr. Bree Bird McKinney.
All right, I gotta get my flashlight out. It's kind of dark and I didn't bring my readers. So pay no mind to this up here. So good evening, citizens of Person County. It is my duty, it is my privilege, and it is my honor to be with you here tonight to celebrate the profession of education and you, its teachers. I would like to thank the superintendent, the school board, principals, and spouses, and most importantly on this great evening, the Person County Teacher of the Year finalists. My name is Freeburg McKinney, and I stand before you a man in gratitude, of humility, and with blessing, for I am a teacher, a man of the Shire, but we will get to that. I remember this evening, actually 2 years ago tomorrow, when I stood in front of the citizens of Alamance County and accepted their nomination to represent our students in a world slightly different than Burlington and Graham and Medon and the other towns that make up our county. My eyes. No, I appreciate it, man. That would be awesome. I got this. I can hold this together. This was how this experience began for me April 20th in 2017. You see, all I had ever known for the last 14 years of my life as a teacher was being a teacher. And apart from being a husband and a father, there's no aspect of my existence that I dedicate more of my life to. Not just my time, but my life. It had been like this year in and year out. But for the last 2 years, it's been a lesson in our art form, in our calling, and in our dedication to the profession that we have committed to and the individuals that we have pledged ourselves to, our students. And tonight our profession is celebrated, and you will all recognize for the dedication of your life's answer to the calling of teaching. So before I share my story and illuminate the possible path that one of you is about to embark upon, I want to offer a deep sense of gratitude and say thank you. A good friend of mine, Matt Sheldon, an English teacher at Middle Creek High School in Apex, North Carolina, says that every time he meets a teacher, his interaction begins with thank you. Thank you for becoming a teacher. I love this. And even though we may have been told at multiple times that education might not be the most viable profession, for whatever the reason, every one of you decided to answer this calling and actualize your own purpose. You cannot put a price on purpose. And like Matt always says, I want to personally say thank you for choosing this profession of teaching and joining the greatest adventure that I have ever known. And then last year, this journey has taken me all over the world and all over this state. Excuse me, sorry. And it has led me to Ocracoke, North Carolina, to work with the North Carolina Center for the Advancement of Teaching. And it was here that I met an incredible group of North Carolina educators who collaborated with the Regional Teachers of the Year team to create a collective platform, one of which I want to share with you tonight. And this is something that I urge each of you to consider. What is your dragon? What is something that you will fight for or against like your life depended on it? People in your community are listening, organizations across this state are engaged, and educators, your fellow colleagues, believe in you and your mission and your vision. Let your voice be heard. This begins our platform. For as we join forces and engage in discussion about particular issues in education we were all experiencing around the state at the moment, we decided on 4 major topics. The first is building bridges in our community. We believe the relationships we build as teachers between our students, colleagues, and other schools, counties, and our districts, with our businesses, with local universities and colleges, and the community as a whole will ultimately create more opportunities for our students, more advanced opportunities in our profession. For we believe that teachers have the potential to be the conduit, the positive force for change at the local level first, and then at the state and the national level. We want to be the lighthouse for our individual communities, and then collaboratively and collectively share our successes to build bridges across this state. Number 2 was true, equitable, and just access for public education for all of our students. Number 3 was successful teacher recruitment and retention. And number 4 were program opportunities for global education and cultural immersion for both our students and our teachers. Collectively, the 2018 and 2019 regional team believe that these are pressing issues that we have worked hard to advocate for and engage with. Our mission has always been, how can we provide better access for all of our students, every student in North Carolina? We want to represent the voice of our profession, not for our profession, but for all of you being recognized for your dedication to this profession. What will your platform be? What is your dragon? So in conclusion, I wanted to share with you some of the sentiments of my colleagues from around this great state of North Carolina. The most exhilarating aspects of my travels as a North Carolina Teacher of the Year has been meeting and learning from the incredible teachers that represent our profession. This is something we can all do as we travel the year together. Reach out to those around you for advice, for reassurance, and to celebrate. We are all on this path together. And as I have traveled around, I have realized that our profession has become a very close-knit and supportive group. And I'm often amazed at how inspirational and motivating each one of you are. So as I tell my students, I need 5 minutes of your life and allow me to share. Because the real question for each of us is the one I pose to each one of my students on the first day of class, is are you born to be someone or do you choose to become you? So was I born to be a teacher or did I choose this path? And the journey of a village teacher like you all began years ago. And it has been a journey of gratitude and of faith and of self-discovery and of choice. And as I was thinking about what to say to you, I realized that I know little apart from the path that has led me here to you this evening, the path of a village teacher. So its lessons may not pertain to all of you, but I'm humbled to share. And maybe, just maybe, we will witness some commonality in all of our paths and rejoice in the realization that we are all village teachers. And therefore, the fire that burns in all of us, once ignited by our favorite teachers, that sparked in us a love of learning, and a desire to know ourselves, and a dedication to prepare us for the adventure of our life. Thus, every educator in this room has at some point challenged their students to answer the first one, the call to adventure. And Plato said that the direction in which education starts a human being will determine their life. And one of the most important things we do as teachers is to extend a call to adventure for our students. Steve Maraboli said, if you are not the hero of your own journey, then you are missing the whole point of humanity. Our job is to help our students on that path as our teachers did for us. And educators, you are our village teachers. You prepared us to be better human beings than we were yesterday. And to continue this charge day by day, you guided us to answer our call. The second is, teachers, you also show our students that there is a path of belief. My wife Kelly has a saying, I believe in the institution of you, which means that no matter what, I believe in you. And this was an epiphany for me, that another human being can have faith and belief in you no matter what. It transformed the way that I see other human beings, it transformed the way that I see myself, and it transforms the way that I see my students. And we all believe in the institution of our students. And we believe in the institution of our schools, and we believe in the institution of public education. And we are the beacons of light for our students, and that light reflects the belief we have in their success, in their growth, and in their actualization. And as this beacon of light, we see the path of happiness. And if happiness is an art form, then let's be its master. We choose happiness. And we try to show our students that they can choose happiness too. We believe that when we choose to be happy, then we can become a lighthouse for those around us, our students and our community. And even though we don't always feel happy, we always try to look happy. It is an intentional duty, a daily activity, and this is what makes each of you heroic. We are this light for many of our students and for our community, When times may get dark, we guide them home. And as teachers, we understand when times are dark. And when the time comes, the hero must take the path of the dragon slayer. Throughout history, education has been the force that fights the darkness. And legend teaches us to find and slay our dragon, each and every one of us, every single day. And this is the struggle of being the hero of two worlds, the self and society. Find something to fight for, to fight against, like your life depended on it every single waking moment. Think globally, but teach locally. And my dragon is ignorance. Ignorance of purpose, self-understanding, ignorance of philosophy and mindfulness, ignorance of faith and history, and ignorance of love and belonging and acceptance, and ignorance of each one of our students' story and their meaning. And I strive to slay that dragon daily. And when we, and especially our students, begin to understand what our dragon is, and when we allow them to slay it daily, we begin to understand who we are, and who they are, and who our collective purpose is as humans. And finally, the village teacher travels the path of the Shire. For those who have read Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien teaches us that the hobbits come from the Shire. And the greatest lesson that I have learned, I leave with you tonight. And I teach my students daily, is to build your Shire, build it well. My Shire is Burlington in Alamance County. And I try to engage with my Shire. For a Shire is more than a town or a school system. It is family and friends and our churches and our local colleges and universities. It's our government leaders. It's our school administration. We all make up the Shire, and we are all responsible for the success of our students. And this room is your Shire. Look around. It's your school system. It's your local political leaders. It's your businessmen and women. It's your principals. It's your colleagues. They all support you. All of Person County is here to help you actualize your call to adventure, to be more than you have been up to this point. And they honor you all tonight. And they all represent what you collectively will call your Shire, what your students can do when you actualize your calling. You are the world that you want to create here in Person County. And you do this through equity and through transformative leadership and by bringing everyone into this story. So I will end this with sharing my favorite poem, The Bridge Builder. I will end you. No, I'll end with a poem called The Bridge Builder by Will Allen Drumgoole. And it starts like this. An old man going on a lone highway came at the evening, cold and gray, to a chasm vast and deep and wide, through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to stem the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you are wasting strength with building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You never again will pass this way. You've crossed the chasm, deep and wide. Why build your bridge at the evening tide? And the builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I have come, he said. Then followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. The chasm has been taught, not to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in his twilight dim. Good friend, I am building this bridge for him. So when you walk out of this room tonight, remember your sacred duty to continue to help all students, to help them answer their calling, to help them believe in the institution of who they are, to help them choose happiness, to help them find their dragon and slay it, and to be a part of the Shire that they are building. For you are their village teacher. You are their ultimate bridge builder. So thank you, and may the road rise to meet you until each of us meet again.
Freebird? Yeah, I got to follow up poetry. Wow. Thank you, guys. Probably don't need this. Microphone scared me. Everybody hear me okay? Yes, sort of?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do that. All right. Let me begin by saying thank you to Person County Schools and to all of the folks that have made this past year a very special one for me. It's been rewarding. It's been extremely humbling. It's been a really special year, so I want to thank you all for making it a very special year. I've been able to see a lot of what Person County Schools does day in and day out over the past year, and through all my years that I've been here, but specifically this past year. I've learned so much. I've learned about our district, I've learned about our individual schools, all your different locations, and about the amazing dynamic teachers that I see in front of me today. You all help educate the future of this county, of this state, and of this country, and of this world. And I am going to share with you little things that I found along the way. I care deeply, I'm passionate about education, so you'll forgive me if I get a little choked up if I reminisce about some of these things. I love our kids. During my time here at Person County Schools, I've been able to witness firsthand how many amazing teachers, administrators, and support personnel our district has in place to ensure our students have a sound intellectual and social education. And this year especially, I got to see some amazing things in our schools, in our classrooms across this district. I'm going to share with you some of those things. As a side note though, what I have learned, unfortunately, is that I am not smarter than a 5th grader. It seems as the years have passed, so is my knowledge of triangles and axis of symmetry and rotation versus revolution. So here we go. And I also want to say that I really enjoyed, I live in Durham County, but I really enjoyed seeing all of your individual schools and finding out where some of these things are located. It was a Google Map treasure hunt. And I will tell you, here are the treasures I found at the end of you've arrived at your destination. Here we go. I found groups of students as they became the experts in the room, the teachers for guiding classmates through really difficult math problems. They were the teachers in the room, and I know only positive feedback from that teacher and the confidence that the teacher instills in those students allow them to get up in front of their classmates to do that and to teach the class. And this was 3rd grade. I found students eager to answer teacher-led questions from the previous night's homework, even more eager to rifle through their book bags and through their binders to find the answers for which they were given to solve these problems. They were taking ownership of their learning and ownership of the whole education process. They were proactive in their search for knowledge, and that's what we want. I found a large group of our littlest students, our kindergartners. I have a 4-year-old at home, so. Learning phonics and early sight words, how to be respectful for one another, knowing what it takes to follow rules, all through song and singing. I also found students being challenged to think deeply about their thought process and the expectation to explain how they arrived at the answer. Not just the answer, but how they arrived. Not about the destination, it's about the journey. All the while being celebrated in their individual thought process. No matter how they arrived, they were celebrated in their journey. I also found a teacher able to make casual small talk with their students in an effort to get to know them better, because the teacher listened to the students and responded appropriately, while the students were actively doing the schoolwork that was at hand. That was providing a safe and nurturing outlet and environment for those students to share intimate and deep things with the teacher, and they felt comfortable to do so. I found a teacher use current popular song lyrics, I won't mention the artist, as a way to keep Shakespeare and studying sonnets relevant, fun, and engaging to students, and giving those students an opportunity for self-reflection and exploration into who they are as individuals. These students found an outlet, and they were encouraged to use the classroom as their outlet. I got to see and I found at the end of these maps our most challenged students becoming active and integral members of their school and their community at large through task-oriented assignments and employment opportunities that provide a sense of pride, self-confidence, and purpose in what they do every day. I also found students helping each other grasp challenging scientific concepts through visualization and kinesthetic learning. Up and around and moving around, and there's excitement and there's things going on. The kids are bouncing and bubbly. They used it. Beautiful. And it was collaborative, it was cooperative, and it was a positive environment. I found a diverse, energetic, and rambunctious group of students working together using smartboard technology and other tech tools to define, list, and explain very scientific terms and processes. In other words, it was energy put to good use. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, I also found all of our wonderful front office staff at our individual school sites and got to experience the welcoming attitudes, smiling faces, and positive, the feeling was just positive. And they greet their students, their parents, and the members of their community at those schools every single day. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. I'll keep this short, but I just want to say that we work in an amazing district, full of kind, empathetic, and sincere people who, above all, we want to see our students succeed and thrive and be confident. We all share this common goal, and it's been a humbling and energizing experience for me to get to visit all these schools and to witness what I've been able to witness over the past year, and to speak with you over the past year, so teachers and administrators. It could have come at a perfect time, right at the end of the school year, that big push. We should all be proud of where we work, especially here for Person County Schools, and what we do for our students every day. We should be proud of what we do every day in our schools, in our community, in our classrooms, and for every individual student that gets that aha moment. That's something we grasp, and we should be proud of that. For me, this past year has helped me realize exactly how special this district is. I always knew it, but this year solidified it. And how special its people are. You all. Y'all, sorry. And for that, I'm truly thankful and fortunate to have been Person County Schools Teacher of the Year last year. Thank you for this honor, and thank you to all you all who do everything so wonderfully day in, day out. Thank you.
Thank you both, Freebird and Greg, for sharing. And Greg, of course, I might be a little bit biased, but it just made me so proud of you to talk about our district. It gives me also so, and you all representing and in our classrooms is just amazing to work here at Person County Schools. And it's because of you all. And past. Right. My dear friend. Okay. So before principals come up and introduce the Teachers of the Year, please, I would like to recognize Jack Jennings one more time and embarrass him just a little bit and tell you a little bit about Jack. But this afternoon, as was mentioned at our beginning teacher celebration, Jeff was recognized as our beginning teacher of the year. How many of you remember your first year teaching? Tell me. That's hard stuff. So just to be recognized, all of them are winners. But Jeff was selected as our beginning teacher of excellence today. And it's a really cool story. If I had a little bit longer, I'd tell you how this came about too. So I'm just still excited that he is in our school system and how that came about. But each year we will recognize teachers who have shown outstanding performance as the first year beginning teacher. School level winners were nominated by their principals and mentors for showing maturity, professionalism, growth, and overall strong performance during their first year with Person County Schools. Michelle Honeycutt, the assistant principal at Person High School, states, "I cannot think of anyone more deserving of this honor than Jeff. He consistently impresses me with his drive, initiative, reflection on his practice, and his positivity. He approaches each of his classes with enthusiasm and the desire for the time in the classroom to be a positive experience for all students. In the short time he has been at Person High School, his influence has reached beyond the students lucky enough to be in his classroom and has had a positive effect on the entire culture of Person High School. He is truly a gem of a teacher. Please join me in thanking and recognizing Jeff Jennings, drafting teacher at Person High School as Person County Schools 2019 Beginning Teacher of Excellence Award winner." I would like to take this time to, putting on an event like this, even though it's a small group, it seems like is very detailed oriented, and I cannot think of two better people to put this in place than Tracy Scruggs and Kathy Hall. So thank you so much. As I'm reading my notes, I'm going to make sure I'm not going to mess them up, because Tracy detailed every bit of it. Now to the main event of the evening. What a great group of people we have sitting in this room, and you all should be so proud of yourselves. What a privilege to call each of you a teacher in Person County Schools, as well as a colleague of mine. I speak on behalf of the selection committee and say, this is tough, you're all winners. Throughout the classroom observations and the interviews, I wanted to get, is this me? No, it's not me. This is Lori.
Did you bring yours up?
Yeah.
You said you changed that.
Wanted to get snippets to post that are great reminders of how these teachers make Person County Schools a special place to work and learn. Thank you each for giving your all each day and for setting the example for others to follow. You have big, big roles to fill in your schools, and don't think for a minute that somebody is not looking at you and watching it every moment that you're making. So be that positive force in your schools and districts. At this time, each school's administrator will introduce their Teacher of the Year. The Teacher of the Years will come forward as Dr. Peterson will have a plaque for you. You'll take a photo with Dr. Peterson, and then you'll go back to your seats. At the very end, please stay so we can get some more photos from you guys as well. At the end, we're going to push some tables back up. But right now, Dr. Peterson's going to come up, and we'll start with Ms. Blake, because I believe she's first in the alphabetical order. Is correct? Yes.
Good evening, my name is Crystal Blake. I'm the principal at Helena Elementary. Over the last few years, I've watched Ms. Rachel Marcus grow into an outstanding teacher. As an educator, she's grown by leaps and bounds as she's become more and more confident in her ability to develop young minds. Students are always excited about what they're learning and are always engaged in their work in her classroom. Ms. Marcus not only exhibits excellence in teaching, but she also exhibits excellence within the profession. She will actually graduate this Friday with her master's degree. We are proud to have Ms. Marcus represent us as Helena's Teacher of the Year.
fun to have two Warrens. I'm Patty Barnes, principal of North Elementary.
And I'm Heather Bowling, principal of Oak Lane Elementary.
It is my pleasure to introduce Elizabeth Beth Gillum as North Elementary's Teacher of the Year.
And Oak Lane's principal of the year. Teacher. Teacher of the year.
Beth has been such a positive influence on our students and teachers. Under her leadership, the past 3 years at North, the quality of our musical productions has soared like the eagles we are. Beth's high expectations have encouraged students to do their best, and their confidence continues to grow. She has been a blessing to us, taking the initiative to create beautiful bulletin boards in the lobby that promote the ideals North staff are instilling in our students. It is a high tribute to Beth that she is recognized as Teacher of the Year in both of the schools that she serves at the same time. And thanks, Ms. Gillum, for all you do for the students and staff.
And for the first time ever, I did not write anything because she is so easy to talk about. She is such an easygoing person who's so down to earth. And I remember meeting her 4 years ago for her interview where I invited her to an interview where I was a principal at another school. And she walked in and there were 4 principals sitting there because another vacancy had come up at Patty's school that she shared. And so we put you on the hot spot that day, and we all fell in love with her, and we're just so thankful that Preston County Schools has her. What a blessing she is to the schools that she serves and to the students that she serves. While her passion is music, she has an appreciation of the whole child, and it shows. After every program, she will get very teary-eyed because she just loves her kids so much and cares so much about them. So we're very proud to have her representing Oak Lane as well.
Good evening, my name is Sharita Fuller, I'm the principal of North End Elementary. And tonight it's an honor and a privilege for me to introduce North End's Teacher of the Year, Ms. Jo Lawrence. Ms. Lawrence has a unique ability to connect with her students. She is one of the best teachers I've ever seen at building relationships with her kids every single day. In addition, she creates a culture of support and safety in the classroom that allows her students to explore their learning without fear of failure. She celebrates their success and encourages them through challenges while holding them to the highest standard. That's the very first thing I always think about, the level of the standard that she holds for every child. She will not let them fail. Congratulations, Joe, on this recognition and well deserved.
Good evening, I'm Ashley Warren, principal at Northern Middle School. And like Heather, I did not write anything. That may be a little riskier considering I am currently still on maternity leave and learning to adjust to life with 3 boys. But my person is also extremely easy to talk about. I have enjoyed the past 3 years having Miss Johnson, practicing Miss Johnson, because she's been Miss Robinson to me. She's had a big year. She has gotten married this year and is expecting their first son. But for the last 3 years, she has just been a picture of dedication to Northern Middle School. I know for the first couple years of her career, she got to experience a new grade level every year, and that in itself is a challenge. But I have had the pleasure of leading her in 8th grade for the last 3 years. She has worked through being the only certified teacher in her grade level and having to serve the role of permanent teacher plus creating sub-plans. In those times, she has done the majority of the work. She has switched kids, she has PLC, she's taken on several roles. The thing, I should have heard something, I'm sorry. The thing that I see most with Mrs. Johnson, her test scores are fantastic. She's shown a lot of growth, but more importantly is her relationship with her students. You can come into our cafeteria and you can try to have a conversation with her, and you may not be able to because so many students are in line to talk to her about school, about life, about everything. And for me, that's what I look for in a teacher as an administrator, especially with middle school students. The relationship that she has with her students will last a lifetime and will have an impact on her students. And I'm just so thankful that she's a part of our staff.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon Johnson. I'm the principal of the longest named school in Pittsburgh, Person Early College for Innovation and Leadership, and we are referred to as PISA. Mr. West is our teacher of the year, and I would like to introduce you to. He is someone that is passionate, he's energetic, he's enthusiastic, he's witty, he's charming. He's invested in our students and our school success. It is not unusual to find him in his classroom because I enjoy being in there every time I go in. The students are engaged. He is very, very animated, and that captivates his audience. His colleagues view him as selfless, always willing to give his time and energy to PISA success. And that's because you see him after school so many days, working with students. He also advises our gaming club. He also helps collaborate on big projects. We've done a school-wide project. He's done cross-curricular projects with colleagues. During his lunchtime, it's not unusual that there's students in his room at lunch because he builds such positive relationships with the students that they find their way there to talk to Mr. West. And even when we had our role model day, he was pleasantly surprised to know that students nominated him as their role model. Students view him as compassionate but demanding, fun but challenging, strict but hold them accountable to their learning, and cares about all of their success. At PISA, we love Matthew West and all that he brings to the table. He is one of the pillars of our success as a school. Thank you, Mr. Matthew West.
Michelle Honeycutt. I'm one of the assistant principals at Person High School, and I'm going to talk to you about Ms. Janet Mayo. Ms. Mayo is a true pillar of Person High School, so much so that I didn't realize being new this year that she's only been at Person for 4 years, although quite a few more years of experience in the district. She just belongs there. So for somebody that's coming in new, she's a pillar. She's been there forever. She's definitely a go-to person. She has an extremely positive outlook and just an infectious can-do attitude. She's created an environment in her classroom where students thrive and they're willing participants. She's a leading member of her PLC. She plans lessons for her students that are engaging. They're spread across content areas masterfully. Just shows a real consideration for her students' interests, for their learning styles, and for their abilities. She's committed to creating opportunities for her students to be engaged, to learn, and to be in the community. She's committed to not only bettering herself and her own instruction, but also that of her entire department for the benefit of her students and for our students. Ms. Mayo has popcorn sales and recycling down pat. I personally appreciate the popcorn. She gives her students real-life, hands-on experience in day-to-day operations of school. She's a remarkable advocate for her students in the community. She works tirelessly to find them employment upon completion of school. And the one bit that I added in tonight, after reading the paragraph that she had prepared, this fits her to a T. And I'm just going to quote her own statement. That'll be my closing statement on her. I try to focus on what my students can become instead of what they fail to be. We're just so lucky to claim Ms. Mayo in our
Good evening, I'm Patrick Holmes, I'm the principal at South Elementary School, and it is my pleasure this evening to introduce Ms. Kelsey Maynard as the South Elementary School Teacher of the Year. Over the course of the past 6 years, I've had the opportunity to observe this teacher's skill in multiple grade levels. Kindergarten, first, second, third grade, she's done them. She has done them masterfully. She may not have always wanted to change, but when she got there, she poured everything she had into it. Ms. Maynard is a hard worker who does not look for recognition or accolades. She is passionate about her teaching and the impact that she has on the whole child. I have witnessed her patience and compassion with students, as well as her ability to hold students accountable for growing as a student and as a person. Marlon Garcia Bello says, I enjoy being in your classroom because you keep us on track and help prepare us for our big tests. You have helped me to earn good grades and enjoy learning. I think you are really creative in the classroom, which makes learning fun. Thank you for being nice and all that you do for me. Should have brought Marlon with. Students like Marlon grow not only in academics, but also as citizens in Ms. Maynard's classroom each year. This valuable member of the South family has supported not only the students in her classroom, but the entire community with her time that she gives. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Kelsey Maynard.
She just had the competition today that I would not be teaching anymore, so they're quite sorry.
I can move you to fourth grade.
Good evening, I am Melody Wilson, principal at Southern Middle School, and I am proud to introduce Southern Middle School's Teacher of the Year, Ms. Bonita Dennis, not Dennis, Bonita Dennis. Ms. Dennis has been making a positive impact on students at Southern for 18 years. At our beginning of the year convocation, you may remember that Ms. Bonita Dennis was recognized by a former student as the teacher who made the most impact in their life. And isn't that what we all ultimately want? And Ms. Dennis, you already have it. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work and grow with Ms. Dennis. In addition to that, Ms. Dennis is a part of our leadership team at school, the Schools That Lead team, and our Building the Core team. In addition to teaching 7th grade math, she also took on a new challenge this year, and she's teaching a high school course, Math 1. She works with new teachers throughout our building, especially in math on her own grade level. And she was also recognized as our Teacher of the Month earlier in this year, and recognized by the state for her growth in ERG scores. All around, Ms. Dennis is an amazing teacher that I feel very lucky to be able to work with. Congratulations.
Good evening. I am Justin Martin. I'm the principal of Stories Creek Elementary, and tonight I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Mandy Coates as our Teacher of the Year for 2019. As a principal, one thing I always pride myself on when looking for new staff is authenticity. It's somebody who is genuine, somebody who knows who they are and is true to themselves. Now, I've been very fortunate because I didn't get to hire Ms. Coates. She was actually hired by Ms. Bowling. So I have to give props and thanks to Ms. Bowling for that. But one thing I can say about Mandy is that she is a truly authentic, genuine person. And that bleeds over into her teaching each and every day. She has a huge passion for her students and reaching them, each of their area of need. She has a drive to continue to get better day in and day out. And she is just an exceptional candidate for us at the Creek. And so it gives me great pride to introduce her as our Teacher of the Year for 2019.
Good evening. Joey Warren, principal of Woodland Elementary School, and it is a pleasure for me to introduce Woodland's Teacher of the Year, Ms. Sabrina Crumpton. You get to know Ms. Crumpton, it becomes very clear very quickly that she is just about the work of teaching. And case in point, just a minute ago, she told me that I could kind of keep my remarks quick because she had papers to grade. Ms. Crumpton is finishing up her 4th year at Woodland Elementary, and if this gives you any indication of how valuable I feel and the rest of the staff at Woodland feels that she is to our school, is that she has been nominated as our Teacher of the Year twice in those 4 years. Ms. Crumpton is the teacher you want your child to have. She has unflinchingly high expectations. She does what she can, everything within her power to help her students meet those expectations. She's fun. Kids enjoy the learning activities and the lessons that she prepares. Kids are always engaged at a high level. When I go in the classroom as a former 5th grade teacher, I do not want to leave, ever. So that's something that's very big for me. And she has a willingness to adjust to meet the needs of her students. She's not too set in her ways. And but most importantly, she reaches for her students' hearts. To borrow from Mr. McKinney, she is invested in the stories of her children, and especially those that might not be invested in their own stories yet. And, we are blessed to have Ms. Sabrina Crumpton at Woodland Elementary.
looking for visual cues. If you don't know Tracy, you have to, and Lily was the exact same way, you have to follow her to the T, so I will make sure I do it right. The first semifinalist wrote, "The students of Person County deserves teachers who are nurturing, encouraging, patient, passionate, and lifelong learners. I strive to be more than a teacher, but the reason our students want to come to school every day. I try to go above and beyond providing my students with genuine and authentic learning experiences in music, while also motivating them, letting them know that they matter, and being a positive role model. It is my hope that they will grow to be great humans with a love for music and a respect for each other." Please join me in congratulating Beth Killian, North Elementary and Oak Lane Elementary, as one of our semifinalists.
Congratulations.
The first semifinalist wrote, the second semifinalist wrote, "I strive to establish personal relationships with my students, and while I'm not able to reach everyone perfectly, I'm able to establish an environment in which students realize that I care. The downtrodden, the hurt, and the outsiders often find their way to my classroom door, and oftentimes they just need someone to listen or to simply occupy the same space as them. Once students feel as though they belong, only then can true learning begin to take place. Yes, I teach content, and yes, we focus on grades, but when my students feel as though they belong and are respected and valued, those things above anything else become my greatest contributions to education." Please join me in congratulating our second semifinalist, Matthew West. Before we announce our teacher here, I too want to thank everyone who's had an opportunity to help put this thing together. And most importantly, you know, I talk about value added a lot. And the teachers in this room bring value added every single day. And what I encourage you to do is take that value added and go and embark it on someone else inside of your school. You know, I've got a teacher here to taught my kid and help bridge that gap. She was coming and new to our wonderful county, and it just you make a tremendous difference every day. All right, so are we ready? You got the money ready. That's the most important. Unfortunately, they don't have a bag of money like you got today. They come to the check, so. Mr. Jenny's got cash. That's what happens when you don't show George. Person County Schools Teacher of the Year will receive a monetary token of appreciation sponsored by Pierce Group, a plaque, and compete in the North Carolina Regional Teacher of the Year selection process. The teacher writes, "In my classroom, I believe in each and every one of my students. They have all the ability to learn, and it is my job to discover how to best facilitate their learning. My goal is to nurture, support, and grow the critical thinking and problem-solving skills of my students so that the skills transfer outside of my classroom and my students can become productive members of society. I strive to make my students feel valued and encourage them to take an active role in their own learning. Students need to be engaged through inquiry-based, authentic activities that allow them to feel connected to their learning and understand how their learning applies to the world. In addition, I'm not the only teacher in the room. My students learn from, ask questions of, and share with each other so that they understand that everyone has equal value. Teaching is hard. Becoming great takes effort, and it is essential to remember that there's always more to try, more to learn, more to gain, and more to give. I am excited to continue to lead my classroom in my school and throughout Person County Schools. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Person County Schools Teacher of the Year for 2019-20, Helena Elementary's Ms. Rachel Marcus. As I asked Mr. Gillis to come up and share closing comments, I would like for the board, if you guys can remain so we can get pictures with all the finalists and all of our semifinalists and the Teacher of the Year. Because we're kind of compacted up here, we're going to do that separately, so if you can hold tight and be a part of that process. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Gillis.
Well, they gave me the easiest part. We're all tired. It's the end of a Monday. We've all had a great meal. And somehow we're in May, the month that all teachers look forward to, but because of testing, it just seems like it might be the longest month in the history of the year. So, we're all here. It's the end of a long night. We're worried about lesson plans for tomorrow. So all I ask that you do is tonight, we have this great feeling in the room, all these great teachers. Take this great feeling tonight and take it back and put it in your building. Put it all around your building. Let the rest of the building feel the love that everybody in this room feels tonight. Of the great job you do and the great job that they do. And spread the love all around on a Tuesday. Sometimes a Tuesday can be just as tough as a Monday. We all know that as teachers. So, on behalf of Person County Schools and the Board of Education, thank you for all that you do, and good night.